Today on the Tom Kearin Channel, how emotional triggers can make you unstoppable. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Tom Kearin Channel and studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the Tom Kearin Channel. We have a big video for you this morning, and we just released one on our other YouTube channel, Be Something Wonderful. So be sure to check that out. The question came up around emotions, specifically being triggered. And this particular creator was so concerned about it, right? That, Tom, I'm still getting triggered so much. And I just think that that's why I'm not creating and manifesting what I want. That's what's taking so much time. And so we had a conversation about that. And I've talked about this on other videos. But here's the thing. Here was what I said to her. Get triggered and manifest your dream life anyway. Get triggered and manifest everything that you want and desire anyway. Remember what triggers are. It was just a reminder that, remember, a trigger is simply telling you that you're no longer that person anymore. You're no longer that identity. You no longer resonate with that reality or version of you or version of others. That is your choice now. That's your preferred reality. You no longer resonate with who you were. That's all that's telling you. It's not saying that that's your reality or that's who you are. On the contrary, it's telling you wouldn't be triggered if it was the other way around, right? That would be your reality. It would feel normal to you. But remember, when you're triggered, triggers are beautiful. They're telling you, this isn't my preference. This isn't who I am. This is not my preferred reality. This is not my reality. Because remember what I've talked about. You as awareness of being, you as a multidimensional, limitless being, in this current manifested frame of reality, you're standing in the center of all possibilities, all scripts, all realities, all versions of you, all versions of others, all possible alternative parallel realities or lifelines or whatever you want to call it, film rolls or scripts. We've had many different names for it. They're all there. Just because you're seeing it doesn't mean that that's your choice or that's your reality or that's who you are. So those emotional triggers are powerful. Yeah, they might not feel good, but the reason they don't feel good is because that's not who you are. Otherwise, it would feel normal to you, right? The reason it doesn't feel good is because that's not your preference. The emotional triggers can make you unstoppable, invincible, right? Remember what we talked about, that all spiritual teachers talk about this idea that circumstances don't matter. And remember what circumstances are. Yes, they're the people, events, and manifested appearances in your physical experience. But they're also the seen circumstances. But they're also the unseen circumstances of the changing thoughts and feelings. So you have the changing people, events, and appearances and circumstances and things. And the changing thoughts and feelings, including in that, would be these triggers, these emotional triggers. They're always changing. So when spiritual teachers say they don't matter, what do we mean by that? We mean that they're not source. They're not cause. They're not reality. They're not real in the sense that they're always changing. What's real doesn't change. I am does not change. I am awareness does not change. Who you really are doesn't change. That's what they mean. And if you make them matter and you put your focus on them, then what happens? What about that desired reality that you want? You're no longer focused on who you desire to be. You're focused on trying to feel better about a reality or a version of you that's not even your preference anymore. Do you see that? Trying to feel better about that, trying to think better thoughts about that reality that's not even your preference. That's the point we're trying to make. So yes, you can continue to argue for your limitations and argue why thoughts and feelings matter. But that just keeps you creating a reality where they matter, where you keep your focus on them versus your focus on the outcome or the ideal reality or the ideal version of you that you desire to be. That's why in Magician's Way in the book, William Whitecloud talks about thoughts and feelings being a siren call to wake you up, to lead you, that are leading you away from everything that you want when you start creating a reality around them, when you start creating a story around them. That's what we mean by that, right? When you create a story around them, now you're assuming that's who you are and you're making them matter, right? Remember, you get to create your story. Thoughts and feelings and everything else are manifestations or effects of the assumptions or self-concept or the story of who you are. So embrace, I love being triggered because it's a siren call to say, hey, Tom, that's not your preference. That's not who you are. That's not your desired reality. And here's what happens. As you allow that more and more, well, then you don't even call it being triggered anymore. Right? That's why I don't even use that word for myself. I don't even look at it. It's just a reality I don't prefer. So are you sure you're going to feel things? You're going to think things. Think them. Feel them. It doesn't matter. Your source. Think about the power here. It really makes you unstoppable. I really just want to remind you of that. That the irony is that you don't have those experiences that you would call being triggered so much anymore. And when you do, you realize that, oh yeah, that's a reality or a possibility. That's not my desire. Remember, everything is just potential. Even as we sit here, this is a potential reality forming and changing in every moment. So why get so bothered by the potential reality, right? Get triggered by it, but know that it's just potential. And you can decide what it means to you. Right? With the only reason that we focus on those ideas of emotional triggers because we feel we create another assumption or thought that's going to keep us away from our desired reality for what we want. No, get triggered and manifest it anyway. Get triggered and be that desired ideal reality or the ideal version of you anyway. I'm telling you, that's where your power is. Try this. I'm giving you a challenge right now. Have fun with this. Invite the triggers. Trigger me. Go ahead, trigger me. Right? Because look at this. Because when you get triggered, it clarifies. It gives you, think of the clarity you get from a trigger. Oh yeah, those people, events, and circumstances are not my preference. They're not the truth of who I am. Because the truth of who I am would trigger me, but in a beautiful way, right? Because remember, you could be triggered with what you would label as negative sensations, or you could be triggered with positive feelings or sensations. A trigger of joy or being ecstatic or jumping for joy. So remember that you could be triggered anyway. And one's telling you, yeah, that's something that I connect with. That's something that I desire. That's something I prefer. And the other's just telling you what you don't prefer. Triggers give you clarity. I mean, what is more powerful and valuable than clarity? Clarity about who you are as not a creator, the creator. Not as a source, but the source of everything you want. It's that awareness that I wanted to point you. Get triggered and be that desired identity anyway. Get triggered and love your life anyway. Get triggered and love those guys that are triggering you anyway. Love them because they're pointing to you to say, yeah, don't want to hang out there. I don't live there anymore. It's not my reality. It's not my preference. And as I stand in my awareness of that, then those circumstances must change and form and change around me, right? The 3D physical world must yield to your declaration that, yeah, that's not my preference. That's not who I am. I don't live there anymore. And so those things or people or ideas that are triggering you will not even be a part of this reality that you choose now. Do you see it? Because it must form around those circumstances. So look at it as clarity, guys. I really want you to. So here's what a cool 24-hour challenge. We were doing 72 hours or 48 hours, but I like 24. Let's get it in 24 here. Just go out with the intention of getting triggered. I love it. Love those triggers, because what's it telling you? Oh yeah, I must be that new identity. I must be in that new reality. Otherwise, I wouldn't be triggered by that. Remember, Bashar talks about the idea of all these parallel worlds existing. And more, that you're going to be able to see those alternative choices or alternative possibilities. That you might even experience them. But there'll be a glass wall between them. So you get to determine your relationship to it. You get to determine whether that's your choice or preference. Very powerful today. So I invite you over the next 24 hours to get triggered and live your dream identity and dream life anyway. I know some of you, even after yesterday's video or the video of the day before, I'm not sure which channel, when we talked about the ideas of thoughts and feelings don't matter, you got triggered by that. Because you know they don't matter. But you want to make them to matter. You want to work on them. You want to work on feeling better. You want to work on resolving them. Right? You want to work on trying to do something with all that. But what does that do when you work on resolving? You take actions or do things that pull you off of that desired identity and that ideal reality that you really want. That's why there's nothing to do with them. To just let them be there. Do nothing with them. Remember what Jesus said in that show, The Chosen. This pool, when he said this pool at the pool of Bethesda, the healing at the pool of Bethesda in Scripture as well, he was referring to circumstances, not just appearances, but thoughts and feelings, all of that stuff, emotional triggers. And what did he say about it? He said, it does nothing. This pool does nothing. It means nothing. They don't mean it unless you make them mean something. And then what does he say? You don't need this pool. You only need me, that I am awareness. The awareness of already being it. Try it. Invite those triggers in. Right? Get around those people that really bug you. And have fun with it. This is Tom Kearin here on the Tom Kearin Channel in the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. We had a lot of fun with you today and together with you. And where we help you level up. Don't forget to go to the other YouTube channel, Be Something Wonderful. We released a big video on that. And also we have our membership channel where we're going to do another live stream this month. We're also considering more frequent live streams. So we may move to twice a month. This would be really cool. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have an announcement on that. Creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here on the Tom Kearin Channel in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.